Hello again, YouTube. This is The Truth Man, giving you the truth. On this video, we're talking about 14 signs that you are married to an op. The word op is short for opponent, opposition. You see, when we get married, we think that we're marrying this person, blah, blah, blah. They act different usually. Like when they're younger, like I be seeing some of these young dudes and I be thinking like, boy, she got him fooled. I want to see her at 36. I'm going to take you over. Most of them. 14 signs that you're married to an op. This is for guys. This is for men. Number 1, she is argumentative. Now remember, just look all through the Bible, right? 1 Peter chapter 3 says what is of great value in the sight of God. A woman with a meek and quiet spirit. What did Paul say? That women should learn in silence. What did Proverbs say? That it is better to dwell on a rooftop than in a house with a contentious woman. With them, you turn me down. How many of y'all been told you turn them down? In situations where you just reacted or responded to some unsubmissive behavior. Number 2, she often talks while you are talking. This right here, I think back, I often think back in comparison. Like, I don't believe that you should compare your wife to your exes to her face. But sometimes you look back and you think, this right here, talking while you're talking is so disrespectful. It's just disrespectful, man. You can't even get a freaking word in. Always talking. The same women who first chance they get, they will get banged. They will leave you, and they'll blame it on you. These always talking while you talking. Because that disrespectful behavior, see, a lot of times when a woman is disrespectful but not cheating, it's because nobody came along. She can say what she wants. She will get down and try to cry and blame you. To her relatives, to everybody to find out about it. It's your fault. How is it another man's fault if his wife opens her legs, her mouth, or her butt for another man? How is that his fault? That's something that you can't blame. You can't blame that on somebody else. You did that because you wanted to do it. Or if you do it in the future, it's because you wanted to do it. But when they doing these two things, you know they would do that if they had the opportunity. Probably did. Or maybe they didn't have the opportunity, but they would. And I don't care if that religious, get out of here with that, man. If they were so spiritual, they wouldn't be doing these two things. Because they would know from the book that they're not supposed to do, number 1, or number 2. Number 3, you catch her in some type of cheating. Physical, emotional, DMs, text messages, dudes at work, family, friends, your friends, people at church. The number 1 and number 2 door is always going to be in some dude's face. These is the ones that every time you come out of a room, they buy dudes. And you looking at them like, and you thinking back like, she's always done this. But you get blinded sometimes. Like a 22-year-old, man, I'm telling you, you 22, don't get in no serious relationships because you don't know. These women will fool you, man. And they not going to be who they are at 22, usually. At 32, 42, they're not going to be that person, man. So number 3, you catch her in some type of cheat. Number 4, she has a double standard. She can accept gifts. You can't. Dude gave her this free. Woman give you something free. It's a problem. Even if she don't say nothing, you can tell by how she responds that it's okay for her and not for you. You peon, you peasant, you her peasant. That's how she view you. When they have a double standard, it's because they peoning you. What she can do, you can't do. You can't talk for hours to people online. But she can. Number 5, she likes seeing you lose. She likes seeing you. I don't care if it's just a game. A woman that's on your side. Remember on Rocky 2? That's a perfect illustration of it. Remember how Apollo's wife was? When Apollo was at home and the kids running around, everything, he reading papers about Rocky, about they fight. And so he gets mad, throws all the papers in the air and leaves. But when he fought Rocky in part 2, did you see when his wife was crying, get up, get up? He wouldn't get up. She just was crying. That's a perfect illustration of the reaction of a unicorn. Like, unicorns normally don't want to see you lose. But an op will tell you, they'll try to put you right in a situation where you might lose. You might lose your freedom. You might lose this. You might lose that. And they like it. And guess what, man? Normally, we don't pick the right woman. Or we'll pick a woman that seemed right for a season. That's why the divorce rate is so high. If people was picking the person that was going to be what they needed them to be, the divorce rate wouldn't be so high. If we kept our biblical roles, the divorce rate wouldn't be so high. But here's the thing, though. The Bible tells a man to dwell with them according to knowledge. What's knowledge? Getting the hell away from them. So, if in 1 Peter chapter 3, it's basically saying that if your woman is these things, dwell with her according to knowledge. Knowledge would be, you know she ain't perfect. Deal with her imperfections. But remember, the opposite always holds true in Scripture. So what if she is, instead of a meek and quiet, she's loud and disrespectful? What's knowledge? Knowledge is attempt to get her in line. And if she don't, just leave her alone. You can divorce these women. They can't divorce you. But you can divorce them. They have to have a good reason. A woman in God's sight has to have a good reason to divorce her husband. Normally they don't. You can't lie to God. Like if you say, well, I want to divorce, blah, 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 blah. He knows if you want to be a 304 or if you just rebellious, you don't want to listen to this guy. Or if you really secretly like white guys, but you married a black guy, and over time it just fades more and more. You can't fool God. So number 6, she questions your manhood. Like when you make decisions as a man for yourself, for your family, an op woman will always question it instead of following you. She always gonna question it. Now, sometimes she might appear to follow you, and for a season, she probably will follow you. But this how you know. I'm gonna show you something. Give you some gems. Because they'll slip up. Let's say you had a business idea. And let's say you weren't around, but she thought one of the dudes that was doing something similar to you was attractive. Here's what an op woman will do. They'll come and say something like, you should do this. You'll be like, what do you mean? What I want to do is close to that. Like, it's always trying to take you right and you going left when you're dealing with an op. And instead of you going left and she's has you by the hand, an op is trying to pull you in another direction. You're brighter, you're a businessman, this, that. They want you to do something totally different from what you are, because they don't think that you're smart enough to be those things. If you're a writer and you dealing with somebody who don't respect you, they're going to always try to get you to go the other way. Businessman, oh yeah, I don't believe that's going to work. They're going to try to get you to go the other way. They question your manhood. Number 7, she challenges your manhood. She'll knock something out your hand. She'll get in your face. But boy, if they lose, 911. Oh, now you're in jail. When I was in Texas, a dude that I consider like a strong associate, like kind of like a friend. I mean, when he told stories, it was funny, but and this story was kind of funny the way he told it, but when I sat back, I kept working and I thought about it, like I felt sorry for him. Because I had little issues in my relationship, but not like his, see. And that's why you always got to be sympathetic if you ain't going through it yet. So he said he kept saying stuff to his wife and she wasn't responding. And he said he saw out the corner of his eye that she was like texting back and forth to somebody. So he said he went up to her, he grabbed her hand, took her phone and was saying what she was looking at. She tried to fight him and called the police. It was July 4th and they took him to jail. Had him zip tied like a turkey. He had his legs and his feet behind his back like this. Took him to jail. He had to bail himself out to get to work so he wouldn't lose no points. I used to work with him. And it's like, he was telling me back then, like, man, we used to have conversations about marriage. Like, he wasn't a fan. I mean, and it's like when you get close to people, when y'all okay, they'll divulge stuff. A person that's always keeping secrets, I don't even want to deal with that type of person, because this how they be. They always want to know what's going on with you, but you don't know nothing about them. Stop talking to people like that. Keep your conversations plain and on the surface with people like that everything is a secret when it comes to them, but then they want to ask you about stuff. Don't tell them nothing. So, but these particular guys, like it was another one like here in Milwaukee, like towards West Allis, I had a paper route overnight for extra money, like doing it like on the side, basically. And I used to talk to this African guy. Boy, he ain't had nothing good to say about his wife. Nothing. So they challenged your manhood, and in both of their cases, I believe that was the case too. It's hard to love a person who questions your manhood or challenges your manhood. It's unreasonable for them to even expect to be loved if they cheat on you, if they argumentative, if they do the stuff on this list. Something is wrong with them if they think you're supposed to love them. Question your manhood, challenge your manhood. Number 8, she threatens to leave. Like Pastor Dowell said, when they start threatening to leave you, you make sure they do. Because that out of the abundance of a person's heart, the mouth speaks. Don't never let these women tell you that they didn't mean it. They'll tell you, they'll say, you keep on, I'm going to leave you, right? You keep on, I'm going to leave you 2 times. You keep on, I'm going to leave you 3 times. Every time. Oh, I ain't mean that, but when I get mad, I'll say anything. That ain't anything. That's how you feel because you keep saying it. Oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. The abundance of a person's heart, the mouth speaks. If a person is threatening to leave you, if a person is telling you, you going somewhere, I got another one for you. See, on the surface, the woman always seems innocent, right? So this particular lady that I used to work with, I played football with her ex-husband. When me and her was working together, she put him on the phone. He was telling me, yeah, I'm going to move, man. I need to get out of Milwaukee. Milwaukee ain't nothing, so on and so forth. We hang up. She like, I ain't moving such and such. It's just too hot, blah, blah, blah. She not even trying to follow the dude. But where he messed up is he didn't know how to just leave her alone and break up with her. So he ended up doing something that was kind of just wasn't a good move. But the central focus of the whole thing, like she crying to another dude that I was working with on another day because they was close. And it's like, you weren't trying to follow his lead. If you would have followed his lead, none of that probably would have ever even happened. Fights usually start when you got a man who loves his wife, loves his kids. Fights usually start with that unsubmissiveness. A lot of guys ain't going for that and they hate it. They ain't going, oh, we don't work it out. Most dudes ain't gonna work it out. They gonna work that nut out with somebody else. That's why I say righteousness is dangerous, because sometimes women, church guys, their wives get an advantage on them because they trying to do what's right. Like they could be suffering in silence, but their wife is a complete witch. And they don't want to put people in their business at the church, so they just going home. She practically skinning them alive with her behavior. Number 9, she doesn't give you her all, not even close. In no area, she don't give you her all. That's an op, because if she was with somebody else, she wouldn't be doing that stuff. She doing it because she don't respect you or she don't like you or both. And a person who doesn't respect you or doesn't like you is what? Op. Number 10, she is consistent in criticism. You ever seen a woman who, no matter what you do for her, she criticizes you more than she thanks you? She criticizes you more than she apologizes. And out of her own narcissism, arrogance, conceit, she can't see that she's doing this. Number 11, she nags. When they start nagging you, man, you know it's the beginning of the end. Because eventually, he going to get tired of that, man. And a dude that cusses is probably going to cuss her out. Probably ain't going to want to be around her. And you're going to see him slowly stopping being around her as much. In her eyes, oh, he this, he that, he doing this, he doing that. No. What about how you be nagging that man? What about how you be disrespecting that man? You don't want to tell nobody that. You just want them to see when his reactions to what you've been doing. They'll be cheating on you, nagging you, all type of stuff. But the minute you get tired of it, you a bad guy. That's how these women, I'm telling you, man. Me personally, I don't believe it. I'm a Libra. I look at both sides, and I've seen both sides. You can't blame all these bad marriages on the man. Like Jada Pinkett. Oh, I'm writing a tell-all book on Will Smith and Tupac. You see what I'm talking about? Number 12, she acts like everything is your fault. Little Miss Princess never does anything wrong. Little Miss Princess never says anything wrong. She don't apologize. This how they be, man. Number 13, she believes, same thing along with number 12, she is innocent. This how you know she thinks she innocent. Because do this. If you going through this with your wife or your girlfriend, do this. Ask her to name 5 things that she does wrong. I guarantee you she won't be able to do it. And the reason why she can't do it is because she thinks she's innocent. The reason why she can't do it is because she thinks everything is your fault. Number 14, last but not least, she disrespects you in front of others. The kids, relatives, your friends, etc. Do not take this off of her. Do not fear her relatives. If they want funk, give them funk. Don't ever let these women front you off in front of her relatives or in front of this person or that person. Don't let them do that, man. Put them in their place. And if they don't listen, like, all right. See, you know where a lot of y'all dudes mess up in closing. You think that you got to tell her everything. So she know where all your money is, everything you have, for her to take it when she gets tired of you. Or usually they've been tired of you. They don't start to act until you get tired of them. Then you start to really see who they've been the whole time. When you get tired of them, that's when the real fight begins. See, as long as they doing little stuff, you find something on their phone, little stuff, find this email, little stuff here and there, denied you sex, stop doing this, little stuff. Everything cool. But the minute you get tired of her and you start confronting her, that's when the real fight begins. And some of these women, they'll blame the red pill. Are you just getting that stuff? No, think hard. You've been doing this stuff since 2012, 2013, 2009. Some dude's been fighting with their wife for over 20 years. But then you come across stuff in the manosphere. You just listening to, nah, man, you've been doing this. I've been putting up with this garbage from you for a while. Silent treatment, all type of childish events guys is dealing with. And then they'll tell these guys, you just getting that stuff from them. Come on, man. That's disrespectful in and of itself, to think that you get all of your thoughts from other people. That's disrespectful. It's crazy when a person gets on a roll with that disrespect, it just keeps coming. It's nonstop. Everything you had to get it from somebody else. You couldn't have thought of it. Not you. Disrespect. And I'm telling you what any man needs to do. You gonna have to, if you ain't in a position financially right now, you gonna have to save you some change. Go right down there, that same courthouse that you got that license, and file them papers on these women like this. What I talked about on this video, you need to file them papers, man. You need to file them papers because it's not going to. Okay, think back. Let's go back 10 years. Has it gotten any better? Okay, let's go back 15 years. Has it gotten any better? Okay, so if you go another 10 years, do you think it's going to get better? It's going to be even worse. 9 times out of 10, something is going to happen where you're going to end up in jail. Because it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Or she going to have some dude in your house, or she going to be meeting some dude in the hotel. She going to do something extremely disrespectful. 14 signs you married to up right here. Go back on them. I ain't reading through it. Go back on them. This is the truth, man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. Thanks for watching. Keep tuning in for more videos. We got a couple more things we're going to talk about today. I told y'all, man. It's coming. But I'm finna get to work. For myself, of course. 1099, self-employment is the way to go. If you are no matrix, you're going to have a hard time on these jobs. If you got a job and you out of the matrix, here's what you do. Don't make the mistakes I made. Don't talk about nothing of substance. Don't talk about your dating, how you think in terms of women. Don't talk about your political beliefs. Don't talk about your religious beliefs. Let them do whatever they do. If they cross-dress or whatever they do, don't say nothing to them about it. To keep them jobs, you got to be that way, man. Because the minute you start talking, they're going to start snitching, targeting, and possibly getting rid of you. So remember these things, and I will see y'all later with more videos.